That's dope. We're still recording on the greatest platform for beginning podcasters ever, even though it's June. We'll get number 20 up, and then we'll be accomplished.
That's a fifth of our original goal.
Yeah, it's getting there. It's close. So close. But I still, like, if we switch platforms, because we're going to have to find something that works for us, I still say we catch it. Like, we'll be on YouTube, like, episode 21, and everybody will be like, where's the other 20? And we're going to be like, you're going to have to go to the greatest platform for beginning podcasters, Spotify, to catch the first 20 of our mistakes. Yeah. And now we're making new mistakes on a different platform, because that's where that's at. So, anyway.
Wow, that could have been a good... I like our name, but we could give it to someone else. New Mistakes.
New Mistakes. I like that go hard theory you just said. Instead of just like working out throughout the podcast, because that solves the grunts and the groans thing. But I kind of do miss just leaning on the dip bar as like having an excuse to not work out because I'm trying to make a point.
No, bro, that's what we're ahead in week. Solid, no bullshit 5 minutes. And again, even before I was at my peak, 15, 20 minutes, you'd be surprised we're consistent. 2% of your day will do, 1% of your day, 14 point something minutes, get 1% of your day.
1% of the entirety of the day. You do that, you captivate that.
There's a rule of 100, I think it is, or rule something. Look at this little rules and everything mixed up. But rule of 100, maybe it is. You do something for 20 minutes a day for a year, you're better than like 80%.
Yeah.
Or 95% of the world in that one thing.
I hear what you're talking. I just don't know what this is going to do to our energy level of our podcast. Because normally it's like, all right, we're working out, man. Some cool points, some weird shit. All right, let's go. But now I feel amped.
But in a settled way. So again, you got all that like energy there. Again, it's all those different chemicals and things coursing through the veins.
I'm energetically tired.
Exactly. Like I'm going to go get it done and then take a nap.
Rest is a super important part of working out. Don't forget that. Thank you for that.
Rest and recovery.
Yeah, they say that inconsistent working out is better for you than a consistent working out.
Really?
Yeah, they're always like studying this shit because people are really into it. And it all turns out that you just need to eat actual food and not gorge yourself, and then, rest. That's important.
I think there's some ways to kind of, as the new generation would say, hack things a bit with different techniques and, different whatever, cutting and bulking and all that. But when you just get down to it, clean eating, healthy lifestyle, sleeping, working out consistently or as much as you need for whatever your goal is.
Yeah. Do the hard work. Get up off the couch. Don't stay in front of a screen all damn day long.
I love those gym videos in 1975 versus gym videos in 2024. You seen that shit?
No.
Really? Okay,
no.
So most of them have Arnold in that because that's usually what they were filming. But they're just like all these people working out, not bullshit, and just fucking working out. Big dudes, fucking whatever, right? 70s and shit. Everyone just working out, smiling, happy.
Just pumping weight.
Yeah, you see a gym now, like everyone's like on their phones, half working out, kind of like just sitting there, like headphones everywhere, like scrolling, taking videos, like.
Did you see the right way and the wrong way to cross somebody's gym video too? Have you seen that? It's like, it's this guy, he's probably internet famous. I don't know who he is, but it's funny. And he's pretty yoked. He's a pretty yoked dude. You can tell he's at the gym like a lot if he's not an actual fitness influencer. So there's this girl working out and she's got her little camera set up and everything. And he's like, the wrong way to enter the video. He walks in and goes, oh, I'm sorry, excuse me. And she's like, no, it's okay. And then the right way, and he's like, what are you doing? And he just smashes all the video. You're supposed to be working out. He smashes her whole setup. Like, this is a public gym. People are gonna cross into the video. I thought that was hilarious. It's like, it's true though. Like, if you're gonna be at the gym, be at the damn gym. For years, I went to gyms, right? I went to a certain very cheap brand of gym that if they want to sponsor our podcast, I'll drop their name or something. But I went to this place and like for the majority of my experience through all the gyms that I've tried out, this is the case. 4 or 5 o'clock rolls around and you can't get a piece of equipment at all. There's usually 2 or 3 people on one piece of equipment, quote unquote, swapping out. But all you do is see one dude sit on the bench and he's bullshitting to the other dudes. And then, you know, maybe he'll pump some iron or something. And then they'll swap out and it'll be the next guy's turn to sit there and just bullshit with his buddies or bullshit with her buddies. I don't want to be genderist here because I've seen both genders do it.
That's why I spent $100 on a couple free weights and a small, you know, power tower.
Yeah, there's a whole psychology behind it, and yes, that's the way to do it if you're going to actually be motivated. Some people are like, I have to spend that money because that's my commitment. It's that money, and then you drive to that place that's outside of your normal rest and relax area, and you just work out, and then you go. That was my philosophy.
I understand that, and then I started thinking about the time it would take me to drive, get there, do whatever, and I'm like, I could even be done by the time you're at the gym.
Yeah.
So it's a time factor.
Yep.
I have that space in my house for it.
You got to do that math. Yeah, exactly. You don't have the space for it. What are you going to do with it?
There's all kinds of space-saving options. Whatever.
Bowflex.
You know what, though? Honestly, like, calisthenics. I'm watching these couple videos of this, it was a Ninja Warrior champion or whatever. It was this girl, she's a Ninja Warrior champion. She's a small kid, though, too, so I'll give her credit for that, right?
All right.
Strength, though. She was doing some sort of, like, calisthenic bar lift pull-up thing, like a wall, you know?
Oh, the ladder climb.
Yeah, ladder climb, there you go. So she did a fucking phenomenal job, right? And, of course, I don't know how fair it is, but there's this guy who's just a calisthenics workout. He's like, you know, a foot taller than her, and you see him like fucking leaping like 3 hooks at a time and shit.
I
like,
saw the same style of video.
Or whatever, yeah.
I saw the same style of video, and the dude went from ring 1 to the very end of it, just in one like leap, and it was impressive. It was really impressive. It's just about what you want to do. Are you just doing it for vanity? Are you doing it for longevity? Are you doing it for whatever? Like the other day it was described to me like bicep curls are so that way you can lift 2 gallons of milk on your own when you're 80. And then I saw it the other day. I saw it the other day. Put that on a t-shirt. I saw it the other day. I feel like I've said that a lot right now. Anyway, I saw it to where I forgot what the fuck I was going to go off on. Brenda, ADHD. 80-year-old lifting. Oh, okay. So there's the difference between, let's take pull-ups, for example. Yeah, I could do 20 pull-ups and they're like from half measure, right? They're just like 20 real quick, rapid. And then they're half range of motion. And then there was one like, oh yeah, well I could do 5, and he did the full range of motion.
Oh, yeah.
And you know how I believe in the full range of motion when you're, you know, working out. So I was, yeah, and he was saying, whoever he was, whatever fitness influence background, you know, because I'm not the expert, somebody else is the expert, so go sue them. Yeah. They do that because it's the tendons, the tendon strength, rather than the muscle strength that will give you that actual, what they call old man strength.
Okay, so you mean it's beneficial to full range of motion is what you're saying?
Yes, it's more beneficial to do full range of motion because you're strengthening not only the muscles but the tendons themselves that connect to the bone, and that prevents injury later on in life.
Fuck, I was listening to just one of those short clips. Some guy was talking about, he used the term gear. He's like, when you're on gear versus being natural, he's like, your muscle grows slower and the tendons strengthen around it or something. And he was describing it, you know, how it's natural and whatever. He's like, when you're on gear, he's like, your tendons are just basically like fucking nothing.
It's the same,
the muscles
yeah.
grow and fucking explode real quickly, and the tendons or whatever. He's like, and then that's why all the big muscle guys, he's like, have tendon fucking issues or something like that.
Yeah, well, look, what was that one power lifter's name? Ronnie? I forgot his last name.
Mr. Olympia.
Yeah, Mr. Olympia guy, where he was obviously on not natural. I don't want to accuse anybody of anything, but he was obviously not natural, and in the late stages of his life, he had to use crutches because he couldn't literally carry himself.
Yeah, I saw his pictures of him like in the hospital and stuff. Like,
mm-hmm.
It was so disheartening to see someone like that. Like, that was so...
Yeah,
built.
yeah. Like, I could lift a semi-truck if I wanted to, and you're like, now you can't even walk, bro. You can't even lift the top half of your body with your legs. And yeah, that's where all your weight is in the top half of your body. But to me, it's an utter tragedy.
You know what's crazy too? The guy that I don't know the extent of their full careers. I know that they were longtime rivals. Jay Cutler, like, was second place like so many years to him, right? And he finally won or whatever. And look at how Jay Cutler is now versus him.
Well, Ronnie's dead. I don't know. Jay Cutler.
He's alive, as far as I know. He has his own brand of fucking supplements and whatever, and he's doing, like, living life afterwards, that kind of shit.
Yeah, he can actually walk without, crutches or whatever.
I'm gonna make sure. I'm gonna Jay Cutler that shit right now.
Right on. Yeah,
I remember watching him a lot, actually. He was when I was listening to a lot of muscle, like, motivational stuff back in the day.
Yeah.
There he is. Jay Cutler, yep, bodybuilder.
Oh, okay.
Nutrition, yeah.
Yeah.
Nutrition. Yeah, there he is.
Being natural and
There
stuff.
he is on whoever's podcast in 2024, still looking like he's not dead.
Very much alive.
Why?
Always want to see.
Oh, mute it.
Look at that.
Mute it.
Say pop
Yeah, I just wanted to make sure. Yeah, so look at that. He still looks healthy. He's still big looking. That's 2024.
Yeah, and that's
Podcast.
after his muscle atrophy from competition strength,
Yep.
too.
And all of it, yeah, all of his stuff. Yeah. So that's what you want to do, folks. Live natural.
Make your own choices. I'm not here to tell you what to do. I'm just saying,
Point.
use gear or not use gear. Do your own research. Isn't that what you're a huge advocate of doing your own research?
Your own research.
Do what works best for you. Like our boy, Alex Hermosi says, he's like, yeah, I'm going to take 10 years off of my life by doing this, but it's just the life I want to lead. I would rather, look big and look good and be healthy-ish and sacrifice 10 years because his body won't be able to sustain him later.
I think it depends, like, again, too, if you push yourself beyond your, like, frame, like, for example, I couldn't gain, 100 and some pounds and sustain that muscle-wise, but someone who's built differently,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's probably why there's so much different information out there, is because there's all kinds of different body types out there for that.
Absolutely, you have to get very specialized, and not even just your body type, but you in particular, because I may have the same endomorphic, exomorphic, metabolism as someone else or whatever, but
Yeah, you literally only get one skin mech for the entirety of your life, so you gotta control that stuff. That was I got that from a video where it was when you have executive dysfunction disorder, you have to think of it in a different way. Like, you are energy or your electricity and consciousness inside of a skin mech, and that skin mech needs exercise, sunlight, and nutrients. So you have to take care of your skin mech. And that was supposed to be a hack to help people get out of funks, according to this person. And I was like, I'm going to steal that, because Sweden just developed computer chips that have human brain tissue in it to do the calculations for it.
it kind of seems like a step backwards, honestly, in the computing thing.
In the computer? Really? You
I'm
think
sorry,
so?
I really do. It kind of seems like I'm sticking a fucking engine from, like, I don't know. It just seems like I'm sticking a car engine in a fucking jet plane when I hear human brain tissue in a computer. I'm like, didn't we go past human brain tissue? It just kind of seems like, you know what we're going to do, guys? We've got this beautiful, beautiful updated car. 8-track. You know what I mean? It just seems like
2024. You know what the greatest thing is? 8 tracks.
I don't know. I mean, maybe, I guess. Or, no. I guess maybe like a record player. It is proven the best sound. However,
It's not, it doesn't have a lot of capacity. I always thought of it as, what are the speed of your thoughts, though? What are the speed of your thoughts? Because I've been sitting at a computer trying to load, cheeseburger.com, and it takes forever. Yeah. And I get so bored that I just close that window and move on to the next thing.
But it's kind of like, I need you to download this tree for me, Wayne. It's not like just downloading the tree. You have to download the entire essence of the tree, like the whole structure, the fucking every single, cell fiber fucking like
okay.
to memorize in exact form everything like that makes. So how fast could you do that? I don't, you know what I mean? Like
Right.
Taking the detail and the complexity of the information for actually resonating from a computer system.
The rest of the article that I said, or that I read, was saying that we'd moved on to the Matrix. So, who knows?
A different form of everything. Do absolutely, we're in a Matrix. I think. I mean, self-indoctrinating prison, and it's proven that reality is formed by the observer. So you get enough observers. I mean, what can you do with a reality?
Yes. Yes. Consciousness is the sum of what you believe and what you perceive to be true.
Right.
There's another study of a psychologist who took over a prison for this whatever the cell block was, however it is, third generation of storytelling later. He didn't see a single patient at all, didn't talk to a single person, just read their files and said, I'm sorry, I love you. Like, he took responsibility for that person's crimes, moved on to the next file, did the same thing. I'm sorry, I love you, moved on. And then they observed that in that cell block, whatever it was, a death row or whatever, the energy shifted after he had taken over care, quote unquote, of these patients that he never saw. So there is, I do wholeheartedly think that there is something to your energy level, your thought process, all that stuff. Hello, welcome back, buddy. We're getting interrupted by a big old fluffy dog. Hi.
Yeah, you want to pet one?
Hey.
Come on, puppy.
Nice little break there. So.
Yes, and if that was our live one, we would just be like, and we're going to pause for this puppy.
Oh, that puppy. We could take that 30 seconds of puppy and get more views than anything else. Oh.
Kind of like Grant Stephan does that a little bit. He's like, a picture of this cute girl.
Yep.
And fluffy cute things. Nice introduction of that emotion for a moment. How can you say no to something cute, fuzzy, and innocent?
Natural transitions.
Anyway, back to us being ruled by a super entity. Computer folks from the
President AI, as Rogan calls it. Wow, that was really good. I didn't think
that was awesome.
I did not think that would be that cool.
You football that pine cone and ding that motherfucking thing right there.
The balance beam, this little balance bar in the middle of our little workout spot, and I hit it dead on, and it's like
40 feet away?
It's a snake.
Yeah, that was good, dude.
Too.
That
was just the universe saying, you hit your point dead on. You kicked this football cone 40 feet away and it hit this S thing that you weren't even aiming for. See? Telling you. If you think it and believe it, it will happen.
The magic you are looking for isn't the worth you're avoiding.
That's a damn good quote. I thought you were going to go silly with it. I was about to go goofy as fuck, but, whatever.
Oh, it's from some gentleman's podcast. He said he heard it and that resonates really hard.
Yeah. So the next phase we'll start recording from an echoey.
We can try it. I mean, we're talking. We're upping our sound quality, folks, to a stage. We're at that level now. We've gotten some sponsors, i.e., we got some money.
we got some sponsors. The Wolf has decided to put some money into it as well.
Nothing to do with my current up in financial circumstances due to my slave wage provider. Not at all.
My God, dude, I've seen some shit. I've seen some people just like the only difference that they have is a lit studio, a couple microphones, and a desk, and a workbench. I'm down, but the energy from somebody just sitting there talking into a mic versus what we actively do here is super different. You like what?
I like the nature, and I think honestly what we need to do is just get someone to film while we do crazy shit. And then again, too, it's not the entertainment factor, We gotta up it, I think, we're getting there.
Yeah. Another thing I hear helps is actual headphones, so that way you don't step on each other. So you could hear each other. Yeah, exactly.
Well, I think some of that, too, though, is I've been growing and you develop yourself as a person, I don't think that there's certain things like as you call it, say, you know, someone may think stepping over a person because you sometimes have to finish your thought, and in that same point in time, and in a good active conversation, like say in a bar setting, like people are having a good time, people are kind of just interjecting, and it's a natural conversation. So
yeah, because you get so excited, you just want to say, just blurt out your point. You're just like, oh my god, that's fucking amazing, and then it becomes verbal diarrhea, and everybody's like, yeah.
Again, learning how far to go with that. So you interject your point in the right thing, and again, it adds to the conversation, the point, and the other person gets to finish what they're saying too. And I think, pause.
No, finish your thought.
Finish your thought. Yeah. So again, it's just all about I think just natural conversation as well. Sometimes when people are talking, like in a cast, it just seems very like too dry. Sometimes it does feel like some people are a little too afraid to give an extra point.
Fair. We'll be back in a blip. So there's this Kill Tony podcast where the guy's literally a video editor. We're back recording. Hey, what's up? And he got drawn out of a $200 names in the bucket, whatever. You could go look this up. And the guy's on there. He's like, I'm that guy's video editor. And Kill Tony is so upset because he bombed. The guy was ill prepared. That was the first time he ever did stand up. He thought he'd just throw his name in the hat because his flight was the next morning and all this stuff. And Kill Tony is like, I am literally going to make you squabble for the next 10 minutes, motherfucker. You're going to sit there. And I thought that was hilarious because, one, it's good valuetainment, but two, that's where the natural flow of the conversation went. So I was like, some people got it, that natural chemistry, and other people don't. And this dude did not have it whatsoever. Like his jokes were kindergarten, like playground jokes.
Well, again, you can't, if that's his humor level, if that's where he's at, you know, you kind of have to, you know, someone may like dancing, someone may love dancing, but doesn't mean they're going to be a good salsa dancer.
Fair.
You know,
Fair. Yeah. Well, that got me thinking, like our brand of comedy or podcast, like you were saying during the blip, it blends from personal to professional to business. Then we bust out with our tinfoil hat. We put that on. We're like, hey, you know, seriously, we think that the CIA is spying on us via all of our Alexa devices. But at the same time, I don't know. I don't know where I was going to go with that because I'm ill prepared. But
still, at the same point in time, I'm curious whether I want to have one or not in my house because they could help solve a crime.
Yes, whatever the case may be.
All the time, I have one at my mom's house, and I'm like always looking at it, being like, "Can you hear me?" Yes, I can hear you. Huh.
Yeah, it's creepy what those things can do. You know, it's the Internet of Things, as they say.
Oh, I can't wait for the new version. It's the cartoon Futurama version, though. But when it literally gets its new update and the light changes to a different color or starts blinking, whatever crazy, and arms pop out of a little socket you didn't know about, and legs pop out, and then it starts doing crazy shit.
It goes full Portal.
Yeah.
Now it's a turret. It's here to help you. Die. Pew pew.
Yeah, it's like, no, yeah, that would be crazy.
See, and that's what I'm saying. We go from serious topics to the portal turrets are going to come and kill you via the Alexa devices.
It's becoming more and more plausible. Right now, 10 years ago, no way. Now people are like, you know what? That's a great idea.
Right?
So,
This reminds me of a point. This reminds me of a point where it was like, remember back before COVID where we thought Elon Musk and Jeff Bezos were literally Lex Luthor versus Tony Stark?
Yes.
And we're like, oh shit, Elon Musk has literally created Skynet. So maybe he's not Tony Stark, you know? Like Jeff Bezos may or may not be the most evil motherfucker in the world. That may or may not happen. I don't know him personally. I don't know what his actual intentions are with his multi-billion-dollar company or trillion-dollar company, whatever the hell it is at now.
Honestly, if we ever were able to socially interact with someone at such a level like that, I'd be like, I take no personal offense at your public persona versus your private one.
Dude, if I'm on a level like that, I'm not going to care because I'm going to have an underground bunker to survive the next coming apocalypse.
And
the next one that our generation sees.
Drastic difference in opinion, body, posturing, everything when you have 6 cameras on you and you're literally a world figure versus sitting in your private area with your known, friends.
Do you think they're like, all right, it's time to turn off the cameras, it's jerk off time, like go away?
honestly, I would. I'd have no, like, if I was a sort of famous, like, person, or, like, again, I've always said about public office and that, and I'd just be like, I have to go to bed now. Like, so you just rested. I'm like, I got that power nap, you know? You fuck alone. What do you want from me? Like,
I gotta turn off those cameras and turn on my OnlyFans cameras because I make bank. I make a killing on my OnlyFans.
wow, I can imagine that. Wow. I mean, it kind of reminds me of Idiocracy in that sense, you know? Like,
Yes.
I mean, great movie, porn
But
star,
seriously,
fucking-
how much would you pay to see Bezos debase himself?
I wouldn't.
You wouldn't? You're like, this guy's going to humiliate himself. How much are you going to pay for it? I don't think that's humiliation by today's standards either. You know, come to think of it.
Maybe, no, not taking any particular person who has created any sort of digital shopping empire at all, anyone. If some person who's rich and famous or whatever, you know, could get money from that, who's to know what they're really into? You think that we're humiliating them? Like,
Oh my
you know what I'm
gosh.
saying? Like,
It's
who's that actor from the 90s who like gerbils in his ass?
Richard Gere. Yeah, but
He's just right on the
Richard Gere, it's that guy.
It's just like, I was gonna go a little, you know, yeah, that guy, you know, from the movies or whatever, the dude, boy, just like, bam, said it right there. Okay, anyway.
Hey, that was all public information or rumor, whatever it was. I'm not saying that that's actually what he did, but I knew who you were talking about. But our audience may be too damn young to remember that. Remember, you're older than Google, motherfucker. So we have to throw this out there.
Some actor that some people may or may not know.
Yeah, right? But this goes to show you, have you ever seen the anime Speedgrapher?
We watched it, remember?
Yes, that's exactly what I'm saying. There's got to be an underground club for all these rich motherfuckers to go
There's
and
tons of them that just
do their
don't
Jeffrey Epstein Island stuff, but in real life.
go. Puppy, don't run away.
You're just talking about gerbils up the ass, and he's gone. See ya.
Hey, don't make that weird. Okay? That puppy's running away. Don't take that down.
Ah,
Anyway,
I'm gonna take that
back
away.
at a Diagon Alley here, Wayne.
Diagon Alley.
Fucking weird here.
I know, like, weird is a concept that goes one of two ways. Gerbils in the ass or controlling your own destiny, whatever. Anyway.
No, you're talking about underground rich sex clubs. Haven't you seen the thing about it was like P. Diddy or whatever?
Yeah.
Yeah, you saw that, some shit.
Yeah, he's being accused of several inappropriate actions, whatever the current lawsuit is in the current modern times.
Sex parties at his houses or whatever it was.
Yeah.
Yeah, and honestly, yeah, I could never be involved in Hollywood for that same reason. Like, you just, like, how easy it would be to, like, oh my god, like, everyone's just fucking blackmailing each other. And
Yeah, dude. Who was that one guy? The big black brother with the lazy eye. He's in...
I just saw something about that, and he talked about, he's like, Hollywood don't like me.
Because I don't do that gay shit? Yeah.
Yeah, I just saw that too, yeah.
Yeah, Cat Williams has come out and saying that that's like a rite of passage for them or something. Like, the way he puts it is like, these brothers do some gay shit, they put the dress on, and then all of a sudden they've got some white bitch who nobody knows, who's not famous, but they all look the same. They're beautiful, white, skinny, whatever, and that's their new wife. Yeah, it's, I don't know. It's weird. It's like super like do weird. It's more weird than fucking aliens showing up on our planet weird.
I saw some really creepy shit, actually. You want to go down that dark tunnel?
Why not? Let's go. We're here.
Okay, so you remember the girl, that little blonde girl from the movie Poltergeist?
Sure.
Okay, so keep her in mind for a moment. There was this weird thing I saw about some... How far down this goes, folks, and I don't believe or disbelieve that this is some internet stuff, so do your own research, but some Red Shoe Club thing going on in Hollywood. So
I thought I heard about that.
Saw that, and apparently the shoes were made of human skin.
Yeah.
And some guy was bragging about how his shoes are made out of that girl.
Yeah.
And I was like, I noticed how you never saw her after those movies, and I was like, that's a good point.
It's super eerie how all of these child star actors go one of two ways. They disappear off the face of the earth, or they pull a Britney Spears, shave their head, and go batshit crazy. You know, like Macaulay Culkin for the longest time was a drug user and just like doing his own thing in his band. He probably still is, but it's a similar kind of situation. You know, there's an interview with him where he's like, he walks in and he's like, you know, the sick motherfuckers when you see them, you know, and he would walk in and just be like, oh, you want to fuck me, don't you? And he's like 9 saying this to an adult. Like, that's all rumors and gossip, but it's scary how deep that rabbit hole goes.
You seen all that shit about Nickelodeon, that one producer or whatever?
Oh yeah.
Oh my.
I think these stories pop up every once in a while, and like we get on the topic off mics where it's like, yeah, touch my kids, see what fucking happens, you know?
Okay, so here's some dark, crazy shit. Again, believe or disbelieve, some of this stuff is truth, and this is science. And you go on to a dark angle of it, this is what scares the shit out of me. So we talk about children and disappearing children and all this stuff and the occult and their beliefs of the children's energy or their blood or whatever.
Was that androchrome and adrenochrome or whatever?
Right, all this stuff, and heard all these crazy rumors about people bathing in people's blood and youth and all this other shit, right? Crazy,
yeah.
Right? It reminded me so much of the scientific basis of a lot of this interesting stuff, because they use a lot of young people's blood to rejuvenate old people. In the movie, I just saw a sight. One of the ways he was able to bring this girl's sight back to life was embryonic fluid, embryonic sac from, guess what? A fucking child, a baby, a fucking human like. There's shit that's really proven this stuff. It's crazy.
There's two roads that this goes down. One is the occult weird shit, because there's like stories of old queens bathing in the blood of virgins to stay young forever, and there's that occultist shit. And then there's that science side of it that's like, you know, stem cells actually help people, which come from babies, right?
Babies don't scar, apparently.
What?
In the movie, he's talking about how babies don't scar. The reason why
scar
is because your body heals too quickly, trying to fight off infection or some shit. But when babies are in the fluid, the sac, they don't scar, and that's how they were able to save the lady's life. So does that not sound like an immortal being to me? You can't scar.
Okay.
You don't age.
Well, this goes down so many different fucking rabbit
crazy,
holes. We're just gonna put so much stuff together. What's the cap on the DNA? There's a cap on the DNA that basically has the person's lifespan in it. It only lasts for 120 years.
Yeah, that's the gene that I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, it's the cap on the gene that basically, yes, we could be immortal if it wasn't for this specific genetic cap, and if you take that away, all of the DNA unravels, or whatever the case may fucking be.
Yeah, I saw that. And you can mess with it, and that's why, again, you only live to about that age, like right
to 120 years old. Mm-hmm. Yep.
If you can rejuvenate your body and your cells through the blood and whatever of young people, and I've seen people do this. I've heard some shit that rich people are paying up the ass for young people's blood infusions and shit.
Not only young people's blood infusion, but you could go to Mexico and get some stem cell treatment, and that will reignite your body. There's a... Hey, Mr. Rogan, thank you for sponsoring and listening to our podcast, even though you don't do either of those things, but there is a
one day he's gonna get credit for it. And be like, sitting there, I was like, who the fuck, what?
He's like, oh my God, my viewership bumped by 1 thanks to this guy at Toast to the Wyrd. Hell yeah. But there's a legitimately a clinic, for lack of a better term, out there called Ways to Well, and they basically take your quote unquote nutrition and biophysiological whatever into effect. They study this, and then they give you a concoction of whatever it is, stem cells, nutrients, vitamins, whatever it is that you're deficient in, and you see yourself turn around, you know. It's all tied together, man.
Isn't it? It's like you take all this occult, child sacrifice, weird shit, and you're like, oh, that's completely unbelievable, and that's true, and then you're like, well, actually, if you follow the science and all this other stuff, like it starts to be creepily fucking real.
Well, I think that's where a lot of like the serious tinfoil hat people go, like down that road, is because they could tie these bases into science, and you know, next thing you know, they're like, I need to get the stem or the spinal fluid from a baby and drink it or some shit. Like
this is what I have to say. There's all kinds of knowledge and rituals and rites and all this stuff from ancient times that we still don't believe in, and whatever, they've been around forever. We do know that ancient people had knowledge that we do not have or struggle with now today to even believe. And 2, everything we keep finding is a discovery. It's not a fucking discovery. That shit's been sitting there the whole time.
Yeah, hey, did you know that Big Pharma has found a way to profit off of stem cells? And now we've just discovered that eating a placenta will help rejuvenate your life, because it's like because it has all of the natural ingredients for life or whatever. Did you know a placenta alone will go for $50,000? You could sell that shit for 50 grand.
You take all of the ick, you take all of the like factor out it's from humans or whatever, and you just take the like, we're selling you bacon kind of like interject or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's so creepy fucking weird. It's so creepy, like how, again, you're rich, you're famous, you're a king, you're queen, whatever, you farm out your fucking poor people. Like, what do you care?
Yeah. Well, and even in a capitalistic society, you could farm out your own organs. I mean, not in the United States because that's illegal, but you could definitely sell a kidney to somebody if you're really hard up.
Dude, I could sell one of my testicles. You could sell one of your testicles right now.
Where do I sign up? I got 2 that I don't need.
I mean, seriously, there's stuff with body parts. I mean, you could sell a testicle, part of your kidney.
Yeah.
My dad tried to get me to get a little sliver of your liver. So I know if I was able to do it for a family member, I guarantee you I could sell it to someone.
Yep.
And again, too, it's all about a private deal. Like, oh, well, these two made an arrangement, nothing to do with us. Like, that's theirs.
Well, the liver grows back, actually. So that's an interesting thing. I don't know why we don't. Well, oh, dude. There's another fucking thing to this whole, like, Petri dish meat kind of a thing.
Yeah.
Because they're thinking that you could just basically grow replacement organs and just put them into people with the people's own stem cells.
Yep.
Like, your stem cells comes from your bone, and the older that you get, the less that you produce of them. That's why your body deteriorates over time, thanks to these genetic caps on the DNA. The problem is that we've got too many specialists and nobody looking at the whole fucking picture going, wow, this is incredible. And that's why I prefer a DO to an MD. Thank you. Come again.
It's fucking crazy.
It is. It's absolutely crazy. But like the Ways to Well guy, he basically says that your body is deficient. Okay, here's the example that was laid out in the 30-second video I saw. You don't just put crude oil into your car, correct?
You have to refine it.
You do. You do that, and then it turns into gasoline, and then that gasoline is fuel for your vehicle. The same thing happens with food. Your body refines it into usable nutrients, energy, vitamins, whatever they can withdraw from it and put into your body. So in effect, the quality of the food that you're putting into your body is the quality of fuel you are using. So if you just sit at a fucking drive-through and eat these greasy ass canola oil potatoes or whatever the hell it is, you're going to be running on shitty fuel. And what happens? The American obesity epidemic, dude. Like,
I tell that to my assistants at work, actually, since I went through my whole personality shift. Big part of it was you don't realize how hangry you actually are all day, like running on nothing. And that's the example I gave my assistant. I'm like, you're a freaking rocket ship. We don't put unleaded in you, do we? We put jet fuel in you.
Yeah. Yeah. Especially if you're just sucking down the energy drinks, the super caffeine and all of the B12 ever.
And all that shit.
Why? So that way you can be productive for 24 hours, which is why I think that this podcast shouldn't be narrowed on one specific topic. I like the whole, like, controlling of your own life, being a wage slave, having that health and stuff. And then, the goofy shit that we come across, like, is Bigfoot real?
I think absolutely there's different hominid forms.
What is it?
There's all kinds of species we still haven't discovered. I think they're fucking giant living trees, for fuck's sakes.
Dude, they have
giant walking stick insects.
They have literally just discovered a new species of killer whale in the Antarctica.
What?
Yes.
How different is this killer whale? Like different colors?
I don't know the details of it, but I know that this scientist was he was a legit scientist because he was on NPR, and if you get to NPR, you're legit.
Okay. Someone did their research.
Yeah, he did his research. He was with the research team. He was doing his research. They were doing their research in Antarctica. And he's like, they legitimately found a new version of killer whale in the ocean. That's how big the fucking ocean is. All right, let's go around the truck. We'll take like a 10-minute break and be back. What do you think?
Absolutely. I think it's ignorant as shit that we think we know everything about this planet we live on. And with that being said, do your own research.
Blip! Hell yeah. I'm going to put on my fancy hat now. We're going to talk about the real subjects. It does look retardedly good. I look like ZZ Top. Look like a member of ZZ Top. Thank you. Oh, and it's very arid.
I was like, I think I'll see them.
Very arid, very like...
Yeah, it's like, it has all the air factor.
Uh-huh, and it fits with the whole, like, handlebar, big-ass beard kind of thing going. Thank you. I'm going to get a dead man's hand, though, and put it in the brim. Just a deck of cards, you know what I mean?
There you go.
Just throw that there, and then I'll start making videos in it. I can't stop looking at myself. I know we were just talking about the global elites taking over the fucking world, but damn, this is a nice hat. Thank you.
No, honestly, when I think a lot about like our stuff, I always picture us in our skeleton wolf personas. I'm just like, yeah, I can see like my head on a skeleton. Yeah, I'm fucking serious. I am.
That makes sense.
Yeah. They have some sort of like making another one. He'll be a little more futuristic, and maybe I'll have like a little more on the cyberpunk my side. So I'll have some stuff, but we'll have some sort of like cane taser thing. Maybe I'm not sure. Like he's got something
like a little trident that shocks people.
There you go.
There you go.
Yeah, that's cool. I really like that cyber version of us. That was cool as fuck.
Yeah, well, dude, we're living in fucking a cyberpunk dystopia now. The way you just look at the world and you're like, oh shit. We're going to have a president that's a felon. We're going to have computers that are brains, like legitimately the cohesion of human tissue and microchips. Our food is plastic. Like, come on, man.
Now, don't forget the chemicals that make it taste like food.
Yeah, man, I can make you eat this cardboard. Yeah. No, cherries and grapes?
So here's my thought after you said that. I'm like eating this stuff and I'm like, I don't remember fruit being this firm, this long.
Yeah,
I'm like trying to squeeze the fucking grape and I'm like, I can't break it.
Mm.
And I'm like, that's awesome for, keeping it fresh, but I don't think that's supposed to happen. A grape's not supposed to be that goddamn fucking firm, and I can't squeeze it with my 3 fucking fingers and try to pinch the shit out. Like, I'm a full-grown fucking man. Like, why does this grape have that much stability in it to last a week like that?
Well, it's the construct of the sphere, too. The sphere is like a more indestructible.
I just remember being a kid and you being able to, like, grapes are smushable. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, it's the amount of force I had to put into this shit, it just didn't seem natural.
Yeah.
It just didn't seem natural. It's like, have you ever seen a real, like, grown actual fucking strawberry versus a strawberry?
Yeah.
I couldn't believe, like, how, and then the flavor
If
difference
you,
and just size.
oh, dude, our strawberry plant died. But if you grow a strawberry plant, you cut it in half and you go to the store and you buy a strawberry plant, and you cut it in half and you compare the 2 cores of it. You'll see the one that you grew is more red, more vibrant, more lush. And the one that came from the store has like white all around it. Yeah. And then the one that you grow is going to be sweeter than the one that you get from the store. Like it'll be a minuscule difference, but you could still taste the difference.
Yeah, you buy on poundage, not by how good it is. They're like, oh, these are the best tasting oranges. And like, look how big these oranges are, folks. Mm-hmm. Yeah, full of water, no flavor.
Yeah, but like in our cyberpunk dystopia, knowledge is going to be the ultimate currency and weapon, to tell you the honest truth, because if I didn't just tell you that about a grown strawberry versus a store-bought strawberry, what would you continue to do? You'd probably continue to grow strawberries just because that's what you like to do. But, most people just go to the store. I trust the supermarket to give me what I need, and it's fresh produce because it says it's fresh produce, non-GMO. Well, there's only 11 GMO crops out there ever. I just learned this past week, too.
That reminds me of when I was looking at seeds and stuff back in the day and fruits. I didn't realize the sheer minuscule variety of fruits and vegetables we have now compared to 100 years ago was actually around. Mm-hmm. Like, I thought there was like carrot, cabbage, whatever. Like, there's so many varieties. I fucking idea. It's ridiculous how we have grown to one type of whatever.
The monocrop industrialism?
I did not know. Like, I going through all of stuff in my life and agriculture, knowing I figured I had a good grip on some stuff.
Yeah.
I felt so ignorant. My God, like.
Yeah, it's a good reason to have a weird podcast to like do your own research. Don't believe us. But at the same time, anybody who comes out and says, agriculture is killing you, and they get big, and then they say, in the system is against you and they get big, they all end up dead. So, I mean, aliens abducted me and anally probed me.
How far are we going to go until
right?
we either become part of, the system, or you just keep going against another system?
You do the Tate aspect. Here, we'll master Tate. Yeah, that's a worm.
Oh, yeah, a little inchworm.
Mm-hmm.
Looks like it got stuck in a cobweb or something.
Yeah, you just do the Tate thing where no, it wasn't Andrew, it was Christian, the brother, not the bald kickboxer, Tristan. He was in a position where he was like, oh my God, I love my life. I don't live a life like James Bond. And then a year later, that was kind of cool. A year later, there he is with people trying to abduct him and kill him just because of the message that he's touting. The system and the governments are failing you. Me, personally, I just want to be a crazy weirdo that nobody believes a fucking word that I say, and I'll just be like, all right, cool. And that way, when we realize that we're actually at war with Russia via proxy of Ukraine, people will be like, oh my God, it's World War III. We totally didn't see that coming because we need the military-industrial complex to sell more weapons.
You know what's really crazy, though, too? Like, we're going to be soon in a full-fledged world war again.
Yeah.
There's going to be parts of our society that will never notice a difference.
Yeah. Think about that, dude. Is it really the people that are at war, or are we just the pawns of these proletariats? Or whatever the case may be, whatever it's actually called.
Think the average American or average, like, nobody gives a fuck. Like, all this stuff that, I don't care what we're doing politically. I don't care what Russia does. You know what I mean? Like, there's just so much, like, that matters not in life to a point that should be and should not be. But, the average human, and this is why wars have to be pushed and forced, because nobody wants to go out and kill somebody else.
Yeah.
Nobody wants to go out and fucking, have their life threatened. Nobody if you give someone all the basic necessities, I just do not believe any of the bullshit I've ever heard from any, scientists being like, oh, well, we could never have a utopia because we would just kill each other. No, that's garbage. That's fucking garbage. If everyone's on vacation all the time, all the time.
It's that construct your life in such a way that you never have to take a vacation kind of theory. It's like, oh, shoot, I'm going to go to the beach. Bob, do you got my goats this week? Yeah, I can feed the goats. Whatever. It's not a thing. Yeah, see you when you get back.
Exactly. The ripping of the community and the society and the tribe. And yeah.
Well, yeah, it's definitely, it's got to be. I'm going to put the tinfoil hat on here, even though not 10 minutes ago I just said aliens anal probed me, because I don't want to be seen as a serious internet influencer, because I like to live and I love my family. But
it's a traumatic story that we will probably have on episode 100, Wayne's anal abduction, and or anal alien fetish, whatever we're going to call it at that time. Whatever he feels comfortable admitting or omitting.
Well, let me finish my theory before I forget it, because I've smoked entirely too much marijuana in my life. I mean cannabis, because now it's legal. I stopped 30 years ago, come to think of it. No, it was like 20 years ago. It was a while. It was a long ass time ago. It was before, it was at least 16. At least 16. It was probably more like 20.
Oh, okay. I was like, not your age, it was like years. I was like,
no.
I remember you being in an apartment.
Yeah.
I remember
being
like a camp. I remember being like, huh?
Yeah. So, anyway, I do believe that it is a strategy of the ruling elite to keep the individual family unit divided with screens. Cell phones, TVs, computers, laptops, tablets. I really do think that it behooves the elite to divide the family unit, because that means that the society is divided as well. The bonds between people aren't as easy to create between friends, because they don't know how to create that bond at the family unit level. As long as we can keep people divisive and fighting, we're good. And we don't want the family unit to be totally destroyed just yet. We still want people to be able to bond and raise the next generation of consumers, but we don't want them to be out in the farms working together, learning life skills. That's my tinfoil hat theory for the week.
And only enough, they only want you to raise your children up to the point to where we as the government can take them from you and then turn them against you.
Yep. Yeah. And I'm sure that's happened in a few dystopian novels that I've read, but, you know...
State, the organization. So, I believe it was off of a gentleman, Valuetainment. He's got his own different thing. But anyway, that gentleman said this. And again, it reminded me of the Tate. There's Tristan Tate talking about the brothers, Indian brothers, and how their family just was raised differently. I believe it was Indian at that time, but this other gentleman's example was also from India. And he talked about how it's very common for several families to live together, not just like a family. But he showed me a picture of this beautiful setting of all these people, like just gorgeous. Everyone was all, you know, fancy and well-to-do, and it was up in their culture. And I was just thinking about how that would never work here almost. Like, it would have to be such a unique fucking scenario for, like, you know, these families and all, you know, these friends that come together and all that shit.
Or those people would be labeled as a cult, and the FBI, CIA, NSA government organization would come in and legitimately obliterate them.
Fucking true. As long as you don't have the religious aspect. They have this whole religious aspect. But again, like having... Because we use the compound idea or whatever, but again, he was just talking about how he's like, and they all have a business, they have a big family business, and they all put their money towards the business, and the extra money, because they all live together in a big house or whatever. I was just like...
Because of all the benefits that you get from having a business rather than being a W-2 employee.
Absolutely. And it really, really kills me about how our society views, like, the grandma, grandpa, aunt, uncle, like, living together. Because on it doesn't sound like... These examples, I'm going to say, kind of sound like a little indentured servitude a little bit, but how awesome is it that grandma made dinner, and, you know, grandma and fucking the aunts and, you know, whatever, do this part. And, you know,
I will tell you this. It would be absolutely awesome to be able to leave the house and leave your children there and go date your wife, your significant other, whoever your partner may be, you know, without the worry. Without the worry. That would be leaps and bounds. But our parents, between my partner and I, not around. They're not even close because family ties have been destroyed. And I don't know how much of that is, you know, nature versus nurture or whatever the case, what came first, the chicken or the egg, but that's not the way that our society is.
No, same thing with my family, and even if my grandma was still alive, it's just not like... It's not the culture. It's not the way we view. It's not the way we look at family. And just thinking about it beforehand on the other side, like before I really thought about this, I'm just like, oh yeah, we would never do that. Why would you do that? Oh, you gotta be on yourself and all this. And then looking at it honestly from the other point, I'm just like, why the fuck didn't we do that? What stupid ass fucking thing
it's
came between? Like, God damn.
It's the ideology of rugged individualism. I did this all myself, and I'm proud of that. The fuck you did. You hired some motherfuckers to help you. The fuck you did it all on your own. The fuck you did. I highly doubt that you were like, yeah, I built this entire house by my bare hands. Now, Grandpa, back in fucking 1700, 1800, on the frontier days, fuck yeah, he did. Fuck yeah, that guy did. But him and his neighbors got together and built him a fucking barn. Right. And then he went over to his neighbor's house the next week and built them a fucking barn. And then that generosity continued.
Reminds me of the Amish. Again, the religious, and you take some factors, but goddamn, some people just have some shit going on. Again, kind of the whole, again, Japanese, Chinese, and the Hispanic cultures of just the family unit everywhere. You know, like, it just, yeah. I mean, that's really, yeah, if you have that solid, again, anything happens, that solid base, you have less stress in your home because you're like, it's Friday, grandma, grandpa, aunt, older circle, me and missus are going to go have dinner.
Yeah.
Over our 2 hours.
Yeah. It's like the Indian actress who got interviewed, and she was asked, so you still live with your parents? And she replied, of course I still live with my parents, but at least I don't have to make an appointment for dinner on Friday with my parents. I can just go see them, you know? And it was like totally normal for her. And she was like, why isn't this normal for you? And the interviewer's angle was, oh my God, you're so successful. You should be like on your own, away from your family. What kind of fucking example does that set for the rest of our society? Now my teenage daughter, who's very influential, is like, oh my God, if I ever make it, I have to be on my own, blah, 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 blah.
Versus taking care of those who literally took care of you in that sense to get you where you were. Because she could have been like, you know what, I would have not been where I'm at without my family. And of course, like, I would love to have a big ass house, right? Those big ass mansions. Like, I was watching Archer, new season of it, and he was dead in the pool, and they had fucking like this huge ass house or whatever, and they were talking about, yes, the house staff said she hasn't been home in days. In my mind, I'm like, that should be, yes, the aunt and uncle and whoever, you know, I mean, the people who live here. What do you need 19 fucking rooms for, you know, what?
For the servants? Yeah, Luke Belmar comes out and he's like, yeah, I had a house in Puerto Rico. I had a mansion in Puerto Rico, and I got rid of it because I didn't know who the fuck the people were that were taking care of my house. So I downsized. I didn't need that much space. I had it, but I didn't need it. And that makes sense, you know. On the one hand, I'm like, he's probably bluffing because he doesn't have that much money. But on the other hand, it's like he had the conviction of like, it couldn't be bullshit. Even if it was bullshit, if some of it was bullshit, okay. But it makes sense what he's saying. I don't want to have, you know, all these strangers in my house coming and going because I don't know who the fuck they are. I literally don't know who the fuck they are.
For a company that, you know, like, it comes and go and, oh, I'm some replacement man. You know, it's more of a, hey, we have an entire property, mom and, you know, stepfather, you'd like to live here in exchange for, you know, you gardening.
Yeah.
Whatever, yeah. I think it's like, honestly, it kind of goes back to the sacred son of, did he follow us from the park? I swear he did.
There's usually one every acre.
Okay.
They're territorial as shit. They'll fight each other.
Okay. Did that. But it's the whole, like, sacred son wolf thing about how the elders stay in the den and the young ones bring them food. Mm-hmm.
Or when they travel, they lead the pack so that way they don't get left behind.
Yeah, they lead the tempo.
There's also...
And they're the ones who are the smartest, yeah.
There's also the theory of the alpha is not necessarily a coveted position because it's the one with the most responsibility, too. It's like, oh my God, we're getting attacked. Alpha! Fuck. There's the warriors of society. There they go, you know. But anyway, dude, we're coming to the end of our time. So this will probably be the last episode until they actually stop letting us edit or whatever on this podcast platform. Say that 10 times fast. And look for the Toast of the Weird elsewhere. If you like us, share us with a friend, because you only do one thing that you're asked on something like this, on a platform like this. And Joe Rogan, we know you're our one listener, because our one listener hasn't actually come forward to message me about some unique merch. If you could give us a shout out on your 19 million podcast people, we'd love it. Oh my God. Do I sound any more pathetic? I could be more pathetic and groveling.
Wow, I think honestly it would be really cool. He's like, yeah, and I wouldn't do a public service for a second and check these guys out. Maybe they're good. Maybe they'll suck, guys. I don't know. But, you know,
have us on the podcast.
Putting some effort in.
I got questions for you. Anything you want to say before we're out?
Live dangerously, folks.
You only get one skin suit.
One skin mech.
Keep it weird.